What should everyone try at least once in their life? Serious. Look someone dead in the eyes and say exactly what you think about them. See how it turns out. My wife and I were visiting a friend. He's a great guy, but he had this long, bad comb-over. He walked down to the road for the mail, and we were discussing the comb-over with his brother. As he walked up, I looked at him and said, "Dude, I have to say something. You're bald. Your comb-over isn't fooling anyone. You should just cut that thing off and be a decent-looking bald guy, because the comb-over isn't working." The next time we saw him, it was gone. His long beard was cut shorter, and he was losing weight. It was true. He did look a lot better. Glad he took it so well with a clear mind. I think I'm facing the same issue, only I don't know if I'd actually listen to the advice, as it's one of the things I'm insecure about. Just spend a few days completely out from the world. Politics? Don't know, care. Social issues? Don't know, care. Finances, health, friendships, enemies, items, etc., etc. In today's world, I fear sometimes the amount of information some of us take in might be a little too much in the long run. It's strangely nice to pretend like nothing exists outside of go to work, have a snack, chill, sleep. Important note, only for a few days. However, what happens if you do this too long? Asking for a friend? Maybe nothing. Maybe you fall too deep in your own ideas and take them as the ultimate truth. Exploring different places around your neighborhood on your own. You never realize what you can find until you try. Then bring someone along with you next time and show them. I did this once as a teen. Just took my dog out for a walk to a part of the neighborhood I didn't usually go to. We found a little path behind the last street, which led to a cute creek, which led to an idyllic bend where there was a beautiful huge cottonwood tree and the grass so soft all around it. Ended up taking the dog there for picnics every weekend. Wow, what a spectacular find. Sounds like the prerequisites include a nicer neighborhood. Trying that around here, you'll get mudged. That is true. Not all neighborhoods are safe to wander alone. Go somewhere with no light pollution, on a clear night, and look at the stars. Kinda an umbrella, but learn a post-apocalypse skill. That's what I call them in my head. Mine was blacksmithing. I took a blacksmithing course over the summer, and learned a staggering amount about what it takes to take raw materials and turn them into useful tools. I have a background in geology, and metallurgy has always interested me, so it made sense. Seriously, find something low or no tech that makes you feel accomplished. Woodworking, smithing, animal husbandry, archery, soap making, beekeeping. Hell, grow some corn. Something to remind you where we've been as a species. I absolutely love this one. I was a Boy Scout for 8 years, and part of what I loved about it so much was the diverse amount of skills I was able to learn. One thing I would still love to learn is blacksmithing. It sounds so fun. Doing something kind for a stranger. They may remember it for a lifetime. I think that's an important thing. But I think the most important thing is you can keep that memory to yourself and you can remember for a lifetime. Go do a discovery flight and log the time. General aviation pilot here. You probably have 2-3 flight schools within 30 miles of your house. They will have something called a discovery flight. You sit left seat where the pilot in command normally sits, and it's usually somewhere around $70 for a circa 45-minute flight. The instructor will handle the takeoff and landing, and when you get up there, he will give you some headings to fly, maybe an altitude or two to hit, and then take you back to the airport. You get an incredible view of your area. You get to fly a plane. And if you buy a pilot logbook circa $10 on Amazon or at the flight school, you can have the instructor sign it and have actual time logged while flying a plane, which you can then use towards your license if you ever pursue it. Even if you have zero desire to actually become a pilot, it's an awesome experience. Gift certificates for discovery flights are my go-to for Christmas, birthday presents for people that I really like, but don't know what to buy. I'll add to this, even if you get motion sick in small planes, I do, and it sucks, you won't if you're actually flying. It's kinda cool. Yep, I get motion sick, and I'm also terrified of flying commercially. Hell, I get scared on a tall ladder. I have zero issues flying a C-172. Spending extended time with people fundamentally different from you. Does school count for that one? Only if you make an effort to actually get to know your classmates. Being in the same room isn't enough. Write a short story that one actually wants to write, especially if it turns out bad. In my experiences in school dissuade people from writing for themselves. Everyone can write something cool and interesting. And failing a lot is part of the process at becoming better. This applies to anything creative, including engineering. Traveling to another country. It's really great to experience a different culture. And staying at a resort in Cancun is not experiencing another culture. Didn't Sandals have an advert for Jamaica that actually said something like, "You won't even know you're in Jamaica"? Like, what the hell's the point in going then? Visit a national park. They're amazing. Enjoy your country's nature, wherever that may be. You know? State parks too. Then get upset at how much people are slobs and assholes. We went to Yellowstone a few years ago. Was curious about when the most recent death, asshole act had happened. Turned out we visited only a week or so after a dude slipped into pool trying to see if it was an okay temperature to bathe in. Park service was delayed, due to weather I think, and ended up never recovering his body, because there was nothing left to recover. I guess my point is, it's astounding how frequently assholes visit parks and end up at best damaging irreplaceable natural features or at worst getting themselves killed, because they think they're above rules, and overall needlessly traumatizing the caretakers of said parks. And to the other posters saying this is limited to America, check out the news articles on, say, Uluru, the mermaid pools in Matapuri, and the recent examples off the top of my head, or in general, search international sites that have been closed due to tourists. Go hiking, trekking with your friends. Special reason why with friends? I live in the Netherlands where trekking options are minimal, or at least quite boring to me. But I like to do some hiking when on vacation, usually with my wife. But did the W-Track in Patagonia once with friends, which was great. Hiking with closely bonded friends is a truly wonderful experience. Stargazing really makes you realize how insignificant you are in the larger scheme of things. Hard to stargaze when there's so much light pollution that you can't see the stars. Go watch a movie in a theater by yourself, when you have people with you. Even if you both are perfectly quiet and never talk to each other once, there is still a sort of unspoken social obligation between you. Going by yourself is strangely liberating and really aids in enjoyment of the film and experience in my opinion. In my late 20s I started going to afternoon movies by myself, because I worked nights. I loved the mostly empty theaters and the experience of being totally immersed into a film. I watched Dunkirk in IMAX alone. It was the best movie-going experience I've ever had. Americans should drive cross-country. If you live in a city on the East Coast and haven't traveled by car across the West, you have no idea how beautiful and vast this country is. The East is so congested. Driving across South Dakota from Sioux Falls to Deadwood was the most surreal thing ever to me. And driving through Iowa. Man, I lived in a metro area of Connecticut. Traveling through Iowa. Holy cow, I didn't know there could be that much land and corn. In Connecticut, if there's a piece of land, they cut down the trees and build condos or a shopping plaza. Try Kansas. That's one state you think you'll never get out of. It's flat and seems endless. Dude, I went to Arizona this summer and we left from near Houston at 6 a.m. We dropped minimal times and I fell asleep and it was dinner time and I'm like, where are we? And the driver was like an hour outside of El Paso. We were still in Texas, and at dinner in El Paso. And you think Kansas is big. The sun has risen, the sun has set, and we ain't been through Texas yet. Houston to LA, halfway there and still in Texas. Solo, travel for a few weeks or more. I used to be the type person that would be very dependent on having other people travel with me. Solo traveling on the other hand truly is a liberating feeling. You'll learn many things about yourself and mature. Solo travel is fantastic. Booked a ticket to Paris from Dallas in a whim. Met with a Spanish guy at the hostel I'm staying at and he had 2 tickets to the riverboat tour on the Seine. We take the metro and are walking by the Eiffel Tower. See a gigantic cloud of smoke in the sky. Hope everyone is okay. Get on the boat and it's a crazy sunset with all the smoke. Look farther down the Seine and we see the Notre Dame on fire. So yeah, I planned on a tour the next day and that never happened. Hung out with him the next 3 days and we go out separate ways. He texts me a couple months later to say what's up and see how everything is. Tells me he got a job working as an intern chef in a restaurant that had the menu created by Jose Andres. Lo and behold, he's like, it's in the North Dallas area. I'm like, what part? Frisco. Dude, you're freaking with me. I walk outside the restaurant I was working at and take a picture of the place. Sorry for the long story, but it's crazy that it all conspired from taking a random flight to Paris. Also, it was fun getting lost in Marseilles. My phone died and I swore I was close to the hostel, but I couldn't figure it out. So I stopped at a bar for a pint, charged the phone, I'm right next door to it and the plaza is literally down some stairs from the hostel. Learn a foreign language. It improves the way you think in your own native language and makes you a more dynamic person. I'm a linguistic pattern analyst, certified fluent in 5, and I can say this is legitimately some of the best advice. You will learn so much about a culture from their colloquial dialects and national languages. In prison I knew a white supremacist, big skinhead guy named Kenny. For fun I taught him Spanish, a little each day. We did that every day for about a year together, and by the end of it he could converse with the Mexican nationals and he began to empathize with them. Caused him to see things differently, to recognize them as human beings, just through being able to actually communicate with them. It's surprising how much people have to say, once they truly can communicate. Language is such a beautiful thing, rife with its own rich history, culture, and flair. I don't know who I would be if I had never found my love for language. You were in prison? I was. For 3 years. How did you become fluent in 5 languages? That's incredible. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button and leave a comment which story you liked the most. Subscribe and hit the bell notification for updates on our latest videos. And don't forget to check the links in the description box for more awesome content.